I've conducted a search of every single stock on US and Canadian stock exchanges to find which North American stocks have the highest dividend yields, and the results are actually pretty interesting. So let me break it down for you. Now, as you can see from my stock screener here, I did try to weed out some companies that might have high dividend yields but might be sort of sketchy penny stocks or that don't have a long enough history of consistently paying out dividends, because the goal here is to find legitimate, well-established companies that also have very high dividend yields. So I searched every stock exchange in the USA and Canada for any companies that have a dividend yield of 10% or higher and that also have a dividend growth of at least 1% or more every year for the last 5 years. And the idea here is that we can weed out any companies that don't consistently pay dividends or that decrease their dividends over time. And as you can see on the right-hand side here, there's only 19 total companies that meet both of these search criteria. And this is whittled down from literally thousands of companies in North America. And here are the results of this search. Now, this is sorted by the highest dividend yield, and I'm going to break down in more detail the top 5 by dividend yield, because I think it will be a little bit more interesting if we can dig into these companies and see what type of companies they are and why they're paying out such high dividend yields. Now, the ranking column is a little bit messed up because it's ranked them based on the growth rate as opposed to the actual dividend yield, but I'm more interested in what the dividends will be. And as you can see, the number 1 by dividend yield at 54% is Bancroft Fund Limited, and it drops off pretty steeply from there, but everything in the top 5 is well over 10%. So let's briefly look at the top 5 companies on the list here and see what we can learn. So first up is Bancroft Fund, or ticker symbol BCV. Now, this is a closed-end fund. It's traded on the New York Stock Exchange, and what it does is it's a little bit similar to an ETF, except it's more actively managed, but it invests in different companies with the goal to produce income for the people that hold shares of the Bancroft Fund. And as you can see here from the top holdings, there's a couple of companies that you might recognize, like the Ford Motor Company, etc. Now, the market cap of this fund is currently over 130 million, and they have a forward dividend yield of almost 54%, which is absolutely insane. And what that means is just that the shares of Bancroft Fund are trading around $24 as of the time of this recording, but over the next year, it's projected to produce almost $13 per share in dividends. However, if we look at the performance of the fund itself, you can see that it hasn't been performing that well over the past couple of months or even couple of years. The second highest dividend paying stock on the list, and I'm gonna butcher the pronunciation here, is the Companhia Paranaense de Energia, or Copel, and this is a Brazilian utility company. It goes by the ticker symbol ELP, but it trades on the New York Stock Exchange. This is actually a massive company with a market cap of over $18 billion and a forward dividend yield of almost 17%. It's currently trading for $6.66 per share. If we look at the performance of this company over the past month, it's done very, very well. And if we zoom all the way out, you can see that it's been a little bit of a rocky road. But with the dividend yields like this, maybe growth in the actual value of your principal investment is less of a concern. Now, I don't know much about the Brazilian energy markets, but this is obviously a massive company, and some people seem to think that it's a good long-term buy. The third highest dividend paying stock on the list is the Labrador Iron Ore Royalty Corporation, and this one is actually based in Canada. It trades on the Toronto Stock Exchange for around $43 Canadian per share. This is obviously an iron mining company based out of Eastern Canada, and the forward dividend yield or royalty income is around 14% per year as of the time of this recording. It's a pretty big company with a market cap of 2.75 billion, give or take. And if you look at the performance of this company, past month, pretty good. Past 6 months, not so good. And if we zoom out all the way, similar to the Brazilian utility company, it's had a bit of a rocky road, but obviously the purpose here is not to see rapid growth in your principal investment. This is not a growth investment, this is a dividend investment, and with the forward dividend yield of 14%, that's pretty good. Number 4 on the list is Cementos Pacasmayo SAA, and this is the largest cement company based in Peru, but it trades on the New York Stock Exchange for around $6.70 per share. Now, the market cap of this company is only 577 million, so not quite as large as some of the other ones on the list, but the forward dividend yield is just under 15%. The recent performance of this company has been pretty solid, but over the long run, its trend is actually relatively negative. And the fifth and final company on the list on the top 5 is Masabi Trust, or ticker symbol MSB. And this investment vehicle is also related to the iron mining sector. Obviously, this is a sector that has pretty high dividend yields. MSB owns companies or has subsidiaries that have iron mines in Minnesota. And so the company is currently valued at around $420 million. It's trading for just shy of $32 per share on the New York Stock Exchange, and its forward dividend yield is just over 13%. For the performance of this stock, it's actually the reverse of the Peruvian cement company The recent performance has not been so great, but if you look at the all-time performance, there's a clear trend upwards. And so those are the 5 stocks with the highest dividend yields in North America that have also consistently been paying a dividend or increasing that dividend at least for the last 5 years. Now, this is not financial advice, and this is not to say that the dividend yield of these companies, the forward dividend yield, will actually continue to be as high as it is now. But I thought it would be interesting to see what companies and what types of companies have the highest dividend yields in North America. And it really seems like it's either construction related companies, mining related companies, or utility and energy companies. And the reason for that is that these are the types of companies that are consistently able to generate cash because their products or services are always in demand, and that's why they're able to consistently pay out that cash to their shareholders in the form of dividends. Anyways, thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, you might also like this one or this one. Have a great day.